Good day to you, wherever you are around the world. Welcome from the studios of TBC InTV here in Dubai. I bring to you another episode of our show, Biz Vibes. And my guest today is a cybersecurity professional based in Australia who has extensive experience with various organizations in Australia and overseas over the last many years. Brett Knuth agreed to talk with us, and I asked him questions that covered some areas of interest about the online threats that every one of us is potentially exposed to, and what advice he, as an expert, can provide to us to stay safe online. So before we join Brett, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and get to view regular interviews with experts, businessmen, and professionals from all walks of life and a variety of professions. So let's welcome Brett to our studios. So ladies and gentlemen, here we are with our friend down under in Australia. As I told you in the introduction, Brett Knuth, an expert in cybersecurity. He is currently the head of cybersecurity at Police Bank in Sydney, Australia. So welcome, Brett, to our interview from TBC InTV.
And thank you very much for the warm welcome.
Thank you for your time today. And I look forward to an interesting question and answers, which should be very interesting for our viewers and listeners, which will be broadcast around on our social media platforms, mainly our YouTube channel. So how are you doing, Brett, today?
Good. I'm looking forward to the Christmas break. Actually, it has some downtime.
Yes, yeah. I believe so. Yeah. Good. Brett, considering your very long professional experience in this field of IT security, cybersecurity, I will be asking you mainly questions maybe which are very easy for you, but that might be very informative for our listeners and our viewers. And I'll start by asking you, just take us through this long journey of 4 decades that you have been involved with cybersecurity.
See, when you say it like that, it does sound a long time. It doesn't seem that long.
Yes.
Look, I fell into security accidentally. Actually, it was something that I was working on. Back in the early days, the security wasn't really a consideration because everything was closed loop, where terminals to a mainframe and printers. So it was proprietary protocols, 3270.
This we are talking about the late 1970s, yeah? I can believe so.
Yeah, so, and then it progressed from there. So as it went, so did I, and I found it terribly interesting. And I got involved with it from defense. So that was my first taste, and I've stayed with it ever since. And just growing up with it, changed, got my certifications, did my training. It's taken me to many places around the world. So I was quite lucky in that regard. And the best thing about it, I learned something new every day. It keeps the mind active and keeps you learning and thinking. So to me, it's great. Great knowledge.
Which never ends. The learning never ends. And I'm sure even now, after such a long time, you are learning something every day. That's great. So you have worked overseas out of Australia as well, Brett. Where all have you been? Where have you been to?
Italy, the Philippines, America, Poland, UK. So I've worked not long stints, several months at a time, and then back home. But long enough to have a taste of the culture and the way of life and the different countries. So it's been good. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So let me get down to a few basic questions, that might interest our listeners. Let's ask, what's a firewall and how do they actually work? Is it that the larger the network, the bigger the firewall? Because we all know the basic, but if you could just tell us a bit technically about it.
Look, there's a couple of different types of firewalls. They come in different shapes, sizes. Not necessarily the bigger the better, and not necessarily bigger for the bigger networks. It depends on what you want. Some firewalls also have web application blades, so they protect web applications. Some of them have IPS, so they're intrusion prevention services. So they can have different blades, a different appliance in the same chassis as the firewall. But essentially, the firewall is a security device that separates trusted network from an untrusted network. So you'd have that at the perimeter of the corporate network, separating it from the internet or from an untrusted partner network, so that you let in defined traffic from defined IPs or endpoints coming in. And the idea is that the firewall with the right rule set and the right configuration keeps out probably 85 to 90% of the bad guys.
Yeah.
And then you have additional controls behind that, such as an IPS, the intrusion prevention device, or an IDS, intrusion detection, which is a detective control to prevent the rest of them from coming in and alerting you that something's wrong.
So I believe that's where you come in as well.
Yeah. Oh, look, monitoring the alerts, responding to the alerts, changing the rules, keeping the firewall and the appliances updated and patched to the latest vulnerabilities. So it's interesting, and it's always on the go.
And you are currently head of security for Police Bank, I believe. It's a normal bank, yeah.
Well, Police Bank, yes. Police Bank started life as a credit union back in 1964 for the police. Since then, it's morphed into a bank. It's what they call a COBA, a customer-owned bank association. So it's a customer-owned bank. So those that bank with it, they actually are the shareholders. They own a part of the bank. They can vote on the directors and on the remuneration for the directors and the direction of the bank, whether they want to merge, grow it, whatever. So it's good. We've got about 85,000 members approximately, and some of them are scattered all around the world. New Caledonia, New Zealand, Vietnam, Paris, Germany, Vietnam. They're either assigned Kabul in Afghanistan. They're either assigned to other law enforcement agencies or consulates or embassies. So there's a variety. So we just don't cover police. We cover border security, customs, federal police as well. So there's quite a diverse range. So in the early days, it was called immigration, customs, and now they're called border security and border protection. So
they merged together, yeah?
Yeah. So as I said, I think there's approximately, I could be wrong, but it's about 85,000 members.
Yeah.
So it's look, we're not a huge bank. We're a tier 2 bank. So there are a few that are bigger than ours, but not as specialized.
I see. And being responsible for a financial institution like a bank, does it make it more difficult a job? Because the hackers and all would always be trying to target financial institutions more than other companies or organizations.
We're always a target. Always. It's they attack the bank because, one, they can get money, the possibility of monetizing their activities and getting a payday. Secondly, that there's the opportunity to get identities, so to steal the information that we hold. They can, then if they do that, they can encrypt the information that we've got. They can sell what they've taken, what they've exfiltrated. They can sell that on the black market, hold us to ransom, so they get a double payday. An identity at the moment, a complete identity, selling on the dark web, I think it's about 120, 125 US for a complete identity, because that can be sold many times and used around the world. So there's quite a booming market for stolen identities.
Yes, for data, which is very valuable. So, Brett, in the last couple of years, do you recall any time that you had a serious issue with intruders, with people trying to get into the system?
I did. I can. I can't name where I was, but it was via a third party, an outsourced third party that was providing services. They were compromised, and it was a disgruntled internal employee in the third party.
Wow.
And they attacked the company I was working for to make a point, and they made it quite quite saliently. Banners being displayed on laptops and consoles saying "You've been hacked." So that was quite a disturbing exercise to go through. But what was particularly bad was that it was a disgruntled internal employee.
Wow.
That used the knowledge and credentials they had to attack. So there's not much you can really do about that with a disgruntled employee decides to do that.
Who already has access to the system.
Yeah. They already had the access and the power to do what they wanted, unbeknownst to the outsourcer, and two, to the client being us. So but that was the only one. Touch wood.
All right, we'll move on. Brett, globally speaking, how could you give us an idea? How real is this cyber threat to the common people? And if you have any real case scenarios of, some bad cases, if you could tell us about it.
Look, I can give you some statistics for Australia in the last 12 months, the last financial year. So that's July to 30 June this year. Australians lost $33 billion to cybercrime.
Wow.
That's 33 billion. And that meant 78% of Australian businesses were attacked, basically, in one form or another. It was a 15% increase in ransomware attacks on Australian businesses. So it's real, it's happening, it's global. The US government under Biden called together a coalition of 30 countries to discuss ransomware and how they're going to tackle it, because it's a growing problem worldwide. Here in Sydney last week, a nurse lost $75,000 of his own savings because somebody was smart enough to SIM jack their phone. They spoke to the carrier and got them to. The story went that they wanted a micro SIM. But they wanted a new phone number. So they had a new phone number ported from the account to a micro SIM. Normally you'd have to go in to do that in one of their outlets, but they convinced them over the phone, whether they did their homework and through social media and captured all the necessary information. I'm not sure. But they, end result, took $75,000 out of the account, off and running, and also took all his identity. So he, double-edged sword, lost the money and lost his identity. So now he's trying to recapture his identity, because that's being used elsewhere, not in Australia, but around the world. And all his identity papers have been taken. So, and they're being used. So that's real. That was in the press. That was, that was something that happened. And then it was only a week prior to that, another couple lost almost $1 million in a settlement for their house. So they were doing it all electronically through the web, through email. They got an email supposedly from their solicitor saying, please deposit the money. Here is the trust account that is established for the purchase, for your purchase, and I will pay the purchase out of that. They didn't think to check They accepted the email, they accepted the new trust account number, they deposited their money into it.
Wow.
Once the money was cleared within 24 hours, it was gone.
Oh.
It was gone. So that's a business email compromise.
Yeah.
They compromised the solicitor, the lawyer. They compromised, pretended to be them, changed the account details to an account they had access to and controlled, got the money, and it was at least 24 hours, 36 hours before anybody knew any better. And they'd already gone, taken the money and run. So that's some real live examples, and they were publicised here in Sydney over the last probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Okay. So it affects everybody. At the end, it doesn't matter whether it's business, government, whatever. At the end of the day, we all pay for it.
Yeah.
We in one indirectly or directly through increased fees, subsidies, memberships, whatever. We'll end up paying for it one way or another.
Exactly. And besides the basic tips that we keep hearing from companies and from banks about not trusting anyone, calling them, is there any other tips you could give our listeners? Any basic tips that they should be taking to avoid such a scam? Yes,
certainly. There's a couple of basic tips. No bank, no government department, no agency will ring you and ask for your personal details and bank details over the phone. If they do, ask them their agency, who they're calling from, hang up, and through another means, verify the number. Ring that department from the number in the phone book or the number listed and verify. 9 times out of 10, it'll be a scam. So don't believe what you hear on the phone. They're very good at it. And today they're using what's called deep fake to impersonate people. So I can be sitting here talking to you, but I could be using the voice of JFK. That's that's the beauty of AI.
Yeah.
So that's happening. Never click on any links. If you get an SMS with a link, an email that you don't recognize the sender, don't click on the link. Just delete it. If it's that important, they'll contact you. They'll ring you. Certainly don't click on it on your phone. Just delete it. So many times, once you click on that link, you're compromised. It downloads malware onto your device, whether it be a laptop, a desktop, or a mobile phone. Once you click,
and then they can extract the information from your device.
They can sit there, listen. They can capture your bank details, your keystrokes, your passwords. They can then download additional software. They can do whatever they want. They can take, once they've got a foothold, they can own you. They can own that device outright, and they can then use that device to attack others. That's what they call botnets and zombies. That they've taken over other people's equipment. And they use it to attack another party. So always keep your laptop, your mobile phones, your desktops, always keep them patched, keep them updated. Accept the updates from Microsoft, from Google, from Apple. Keep them patched. They release patches. They release new versions of software for a reason. And it's normally to fix a critical bug, a flaw, a vulnerability, or a security incident.
That's a very important point.
That's
a very important point you're highlighting, because a lot of people I know, they just ignore these updates, but that's related to security as well, right?
Yes. Sometimes they don't spell it out. They don't say upgrade this patch or this upgrade is specifically for a security vulnerability. They'll just push it out and not say anything, as has been the case in the past, where specific types of malware were available. And if you clicked on it, you opened the SMS, it was called a zero-click vulnerability. They could take control of your device. You didn't have to click on it. All you had to do was open the SMS.
Wow.
but they pushed out patches for this. So they didn't tell anybody. They just said, here, upgrade to the next version, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always good. Keep current. You know, you can't go wrong. It gives you added protection.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point you make. Talking about operating systems like from Microsoft and Google and other operating systems, do they come in with enough robust security programs built in, or do we normally have to go for antivirus software?
Look, some of them claim to have built-in protection, but you know, if they have built-in protection, then it's got to be kept current. You can't build it in and just, you know, not give it any care and feeding. It's got to be kept current and updated and addressed. My recommendation is that you put some software on the device, put some endpoint security on the device for protection, whether it be a mobile phone, whether it be a laptop, a desktop, whatever. Put some security software on there. The added, for a few dollars, for the added protection, to know that you've gone that extra step to protect yourself.
So you would recommend that, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I run software. I run security software on my personal laptop and on my personal phone for protection. You've got to be safe. You know, I keep everything updated and patched to current, but it's always good just to have that added benefit, that peace of mind.
Yeah, actually, what I wanted to get through from you is if the operating systems like, you know, Microsoft is the biggest software provider probably. So if their systems are robust enough, the security systems built in is robust enough, but you would recommend getting some extra software, yeah?
There's to be perfectly honest, there's no such thing as a robust, secure operating system. Windows releases, Microsoft releases patches every month. They have Patch Tuesday. I think this month it was 194, possibly, from memory, patches. And that's patching their Microsoft products because they've got holes in them. They released an urgent alert yesterday that every version of Windows had a vulnerability that an attacker could escalate their privileges, take control, they could delete files, whatever. And it was a bug in every version, even the latest Windows 11 that was fully patched, because it was inherent. There's no patch at the moment, but there's exploit code out there for the bad guys to use to attack you. But it's the same with Linux, all the different versions of Linux, whether it be Red Hat, Ubuntu, whatever, AWS, the people find holes.
Yeah.
As we go to work to protect, others go to work to find the holes to get in. You know, if all this was, you know, was rock solid without any bad programming, without any sloppy code, we wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't have a job. And we wouldn't have any bad actors making money. But unfortunately, they exist, therefore I exist. We've got a symbiotic relationship. And the majority of them are in the Eastern Bloc countries and China. They're doing really good at it.
I believe so as well.
Yeah.
Just another direct question. Let's see. Let's assume I'm a user using my laptop or my desktop at home, and I suddenly find that I've been hacked. I have a message on my screen. What, in your opinion, is the best initial steps to take? I mean, to salvage or to save yourself from further damage?
There's a comment I usually use here, but it's not appropriate for the for the setting. Look, the first step I take would be disconnect it from the internet.
Okay.
Pull the plug. Pull the plug. Then have a look, see what was on the screen. Take a screenshot, save it. You know, whether it be with your mobile phone or a screenshot with the laptop, save it to the desktop, and see what it says. You know, if you're not current, if you're not au fait, if you're not up to speed with dealing with and using computers, get an expert in, get somebody to come and clean it and run some security software over it, and see what it is. To show them the screen capture. That will give them an indication of what and who.
Yes.
If it's a ransomware, if it's just malware, if it's just a malicious attack. But this is why, if you have security software, it'll alert you. It'll prevent the bad guy from getting in. It'll stop the attack. 98, 99% of the time, it'll stop the attack and alert you, and give you that protection. But if you get cracked, first thing, pull the plug.
Okay.
And then take a screenshot of what's alerted you to it.
Yeah.
And then if you've got security software, make sure it's updated, and then run a security scan on your device.
So normally, if I have a message already from the hacker on the screen, does it mean he already has all the control over my data?
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. I get in my personal laptop, on my personal email account, every couple of days, I've been watching you, I've compromised your devices, you visit these websites,
Oh.
Please pay, 1 Bitcoin, and I won't email your pictures to everybody in your address book while you've been visiting these sites. Oh, I don't visit these sites, and so do your hardest, but I just delete the email. And it's called sextortion. It's they allege that they have control of your device. They've been watching you through the camera on your device.
Okay.
You've been going to adult sites.
Yeah.
And all of this, and they're saying that they've taken pictures of you and screen captures and everything while you've been doing it, and they're blackmailing you. Oh. They're going to send this information to everybody in your address book and embarrass you.
I didn't hear about that before. But
no. That was one of the big campaigns.
So they're basically fake. They don't have any such data, but they'll just blackmail you on that.
They try and get you to believe, and they'll normally spoof your email address, so you'll get an email in your inbox from yourself. And you think, oh, hold on, I've emailed myself. And they try and convince you that they have control of your device because they've spoofed your email address and sent you this note. So, and that's what they do. They think about, how can we get the individual? Who is going to fall for it?
Yeah.
And the best thing is, just delete the email. Don't respond. If you respond, they know that it's a monitored live mailbox. They know that there's a human at the other end, so they'll keep on trying. They'll send another crafted email. But if you delete it, don't respond, they've got no idea whether it got through or not.
Yeah.
So it makes it harder for them.
Yeah. But I guess they work on the plan that if they send it out to 10,000 people, at least a few of them will fall for the bait, and then they have
exactly. What are some of the things? What are they using today? Bonus, COVID-19, DocuSign, fraud alert, payment, refund, quote request, subscription. So these are all themes that that are current this month that they're using around the world to get people to respond and click. So I've got a bonus. So that they spoof an email address from my company telling me I've got a bonus. Please click on this link to confirm your bonus. You click on that link, it downloads the malware, and hey, you're theirs. So one good thing is, if you get an email like that, put the cursor over the email address that it's coming from, and you should get the real email address pop up above it from the mouse. So that's one way to verify the sender's email address, but there's no guarantee, even if it is verified, that it's bona fide, that it's a real legitimate address. So that's the biggest thing. I can tell you, at the moment, currently within the bank, I black hole about 30,000 emails a month that are malicious.
Every month,
every month that are trying to come in, trying to crack somebody to push the button within the bank. That's from the CEO all the way down. Right? It's everybody, 30,000 a month.
So do you hold training sessions for the bank staff as well, Brett?
All the staff have annual security training, security awareness training. The boss sends out notes and gives a brief talk about security at the all hands meetings. Occasionally he gets me to pop up like we are now and talk to everybody at the town hall and give them a 10-minute summary of security and what's happening and what they should be doing. I run phishing campaigns every month within the bank. So I have a different, I pretend to be one of the bad guys, and
you check who's
my emails.
Yeah. And you get, that's a good way of checking actually. In large companies they do that, and you get emails. I remember I used to get emails when I was working, and they get emails from the IT department, and then they congratulate you if you did not click and report it to the security, right?
Yep. So I run that every month. For the past couple of months, it's been 0. So we're doing well. Everybody's alert and on the ball.
But the vicious circle still keeps going because these people find new ways of of trying to get in, and that's, as you said, what keeps you at in your job.
Yeah. Oh, look, and they're very inventive. They're very creative in what they do and the thing and the way they go about it. So
yes, Brett,
it's amazing.
Yeah, Brett, thank you very much. It's been a very interesting half an hour with you, and I'm sure our listeners, our viewers must have gained something out of it. Just one last question. If you have any message for our team, TBC InTV, I have briefed you about our company. We are new. We're just forming teams for providing information, first-hand information on various social media platforms. So if you have any message for our team, please.
Stay safe. Think before you click.
That's good.
But hey, I'm here. If I'm on LinkedIn, if anybody has any questions or they want to know if I can be of assistance, ping me, drop me a note. I'm only too happy to
that's good,
to share some knowledge and experience.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for your time, Brett, and for the nice information we got from you. And let's hope to catch up some other time with you.
I look forward to it. I look forward to watching the channel.
Yes, we'll
seeing the sessions.
Thank you. Yeah? Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Nadeem.
Have a good day. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.